Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm super pumped because we just closed out the Clubhouse membership for 2025, and everyone is in and already losing weight to reveal tone muscles with custom macros set by me. We are also kicking off our July Chisel workout program with live Zoom workouts, and it's going to be amazing. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. We literally just flew in from Cape Coral, Florida, and I decided to hop on and share my personal tips and tricks for staying on track while traveling. We had the best time. My husband, he caught a shark. Ron caught a shark. Yes, a shark. It was probably the highlight of his trip. It was 4 feet long. And yes, we had it for dinner. I still need to look up the macros on that one. There was pool time, sunshine, a Luke Bryan concert. Anybody a Luke fan? And lots of fun with friends. Honestly, this was an invite trip where I had zero control over the itinerary or the meals. The timing wasn't ideal, but I want to say this loud and clear. Take the trip. You only live once. Vacation is the perfect opportunity to connect and disconnect. So let's talk about what it looks like to live the lifestyle of a lean person, even while you're away. But this week, first on Instagram, Kelly Counts Macros, counts with a K, we celebrated an incredible couple who lost over 100 pounds together. Their transformation is so inspiring. Go check it out and stay tuned because I'll be having Mark on the podcast soon to share his journey and his tips firsthand. If you're interested in working with me, please send me a direct message. I'd love to chat about your goals and how we can reach them together. So, the Clubhouse recipe of the week this week, we whipped up a Ninja Creamy chocolate protein ice cream. And let me tell you, I use this all throughout my cut. I looked forward to it every night. I had lots of add-ins and mix-ins, whatever I was feeling, whether it was mini Oreos or mini peanut butter cups. But it's unbelievably creamy, rich, packed with protein. It tastes like a dessert you shouldn't be eating, but it's totally macro friendly. As you know, no good foods, no bad foods. Clubhouse members get access to this recipe and a new recipe every Tuesday, along with my entire recipe book right inside. You just click, make, and track. Easy peasy, always family friendly. So the vacation recap, right? So here's how I approached vacation in Cape Coral and stayed aligned with my lifestyle, even without tracking. Because if you know me, I don't track unless I'm in a cut, which I do once a year. So while I wasn't logging every bite on vacation, I was still living in alignment. So, and I use the vacation guide that I provide for my Clubhouse members. Okay. So I provide this for you inside of the membership in the guides. So let me walk you through exactly what it looked like. Number one, packing with intention. When I say I packed with intention, I mean I kept it simple, but I had a strategy. I brought my resistance bands because they take up no space in my suitcase, a pair of sneakers, and two workout outfits. My favorite sneakers are Brooks Ghosts because that's all I really needed to stay consistent. We have a vacation banded workout guide inside of the clubhouse that I just followed. So I would get up in the morning, I would press play, do my workout, and be done. So I never needed to get up and think, what should I do for my workout today? Not a full suitcase of gear, not a crazy amount of planning, just the basics that support me. So, why does this matter? Because when you're away from your usual environment, everything feels different, right? The bed is different, your routine is off, the food is out of your hands. So, if you don't create some structure, it's way too easy to fall into that. I'll get back on track when I get home, and then sometimes that spirals even when you get home. So packing like this helps remove the excuses. When you have your go-to movement tools already ready, you're more likely to use them. I didn't need a gym. I had my bands, I had my body weight, and I had the mindset to move more, just move. And this is what I mean when I say live like a lean person. Lean people don't go all or nothing. They stay in motion, they find ways to pivot instead of pause. You don't pause your habits, you adapt them. You don't wait for perfection, you take the next best action. So, whether that's a 15-minute band workout on the patio or a walk in the morning before everybody wakes up, something is always better than nothing. If you've ever packed workout clothes and then never touched them on vacation, let this be a reminder. Pack with purpose, not just for show. Have a plan and stick with it. I don't get fancy with my workout outfits. I have the same two outfits that I've had for years and years and years. I know that they work for me. The spandex type shorts have a pocket on the hip so I can put my phone in there. The tops are nothing fancy. They don't look amazing on me. I've had them forever. They're Athleta and Lululemon and they've lasted. So I don't overthink it when I'm packing. I pack those two outfits and I'm good to go because there's always a washer and dryer. So movement is a form of self-respect, even on vacation. Okay. So let's talk about at the airport. Let's talk about those in between moments like the airport because this is where most people fall into vacation mode before they've even taken off, right? So while my family sat and waited at the gate, I got up and walked. Nothing intense. I walked, I got some movement in, I sipped on my coffee, and these moments matter. I wasn't trying to hit a workout or work up a sweat. I was just keeping my body in motion and sticking to habits that feel normal to me. So when you're traveling, it's really easy to say it's just one day or I'll get back on track when we land. But the truth is, these tiny decisions shape how you feel when you arrive and how easily you transition into vacation without that bloated, sluggish, already defeated feeling. I don't want to feel bloated in my bathing suit. I don't want to feel sluggish when my son wants me to do something crazy. You don't already want to have that defeated feeling. So on the plane, I passed on the pretzels and the carb-heavy snacks. Instead, I packed my Chomps beef stick. That's easy protein, doesn't take up any space or need refrigeration. I pack a tuna pouch. I stuck with my water, my black coffee, and sometimes I'll have a Diet Coke. So the goal here wasn't to be rigid or restricted. I don't really care for the pretzels or the carb-heavy snack. It was to feel good when I landed. And that's what I want you to think about. It's not about being good or bad while you're traveling. It's about asking, how do I want to feel when I arrive? Do you want to hit the ground feeling heavy, puffy, and behind already? Or do you want to feel light and energized and confident and that you're in control? The airport, it's just not a pass to check out of your goals. It's a place to ease into vacation with intention, and that starts with just some small supportive choices. So the grocery game plan, I call this. As soon as we arrived at our rental house, I put in an order. Pull out your phone, schedule a grocery delivery, not later, not the next day, not the next morning. And I do provide my exact grocery list inside of my Clubhouse membership in the guides. We can order from Walmart. You can do Instacart. We like to use Kroger and Publix. Why? Because having food on hand on day one sets the entire tone for the week. When you get to your destination and there's nothing but chips, takeout, and leftover airport snacks, it's way too easy to spiral. You're hungry, you're tired, you're unpacking, and suddenly you're 3 meals deep into whatever. I'll get back on track next week. So that's why I always prep ahead. You can use Walmart, Publix, Kroger, whatever's local, and have that app downloaded before you even take off. I've even ordered from the car on the way to the airport or while I'm taking my stroll. while my family is at the gate before we even board the plane. So I keep a go-to vacation grocery list saved in my notes. It's in the clubhouse. We have lots of quick proteins like tuna pouches, Greek yogurt, deli turkey, eggs, macro-friendly snacks like chomps or rice cakes, legendary chips, Quest chips. Hydration, be sure you have lots of water, sparkling water, and some easy produce, right? Berries, cucumbers, baby carrots, salad kits. Taylor, I think it's called Taylor, is one of the most popular brands. Easy salad kits, okay? You don't need a full fridge overhaul, just the basics that help you stay anchored each day. It's not about being perfect or cooking every meal. It's about giving yourself options so that you're not constantly relying on what everybody else is eating. And here's the one thing. When you have your food available, it's so much easier to say yes to dinner out or a beach cocktail without guilt or feeling like you've totally lost control. You're not going to accidentally fall into alignment. I'm going to repeat that. You're not going to accidentally fall into alignment. You have to create that structure even in vacation mode. And this is so simple and so easy. Once you do it once, you just rinse and repeat for every vacation. All right. So remember, don't leave your food choices to chance. That's when you spiral. Instead, plan for that grocery delivery and walk into your vacation already feeling supported. So typically when we are with other families, we do dinners together. So I'm just going to kind of break down night by night what we did. The first night was Mexican night. So I brought my own Quest chips and I made walking shrimp tacos. I swapped sour cream for Greek yogurt. I made a big batch of the Clubhouse black bean salsa. It was such a hit by the pool. Everybody asked me for the recipe. So Clubhouse members, be sure to check out the black bean salsa. So night two, it ended up being Father's Day and they wanted surf and turf. So I had shrimp. We did corn on the cob and a baked potato with Greek yogurt. It was so simple, so filling. It aligned with my goals. And afterwards, when we got into the pool, I did not feel bloated and yucky. Night three, pasta night. So Aunt Linda's there. Aunt Linda, you don't mess with her in the kitchen. She's making pasta. I prepped myself before by having a tuna pouch beforehand so I wasn't starving. If you go to a meal starving and you have something very heavy, you're going to overeat and then you're going to feel so blah afterwards, okay? So don't go to the meal overly hungry. And when I go to a pasta night, I practice portion control. Okay. Enjoy a little pasta without the guilt, without the bloat, and you will feel so much better. Night four, we did pulled pork. So I decided to use my legendary chips. I topped with pulled pork, salsa, Greek yogurt. It was satisfying. It tasted so good. Everybody actually wanted a piece of my meal. So a couple bites off of my plate. So that's what I did for one of the nights. The next night was rice bowls. So super easy, right? It was build your own bar with shrimp, steak, chicken. I chose the shrimp with the rice, the veggies, and a little queso. There was homemade queso. I used my Quest chips for that, dipped it in, so good. So what's the key here? Don't opt out. Opt smarter. Little tweaks in calories save room for more drinks, peanut butter and chocolate, or popcorn. Alcohol strategy. We need this on vacation, right? This is a big one. Alcohol can derail your progress. So I had a bright line. You don't want to overdrink and feel yucky. You don't want to get the drunchies because when some people drink, then they overeat and they oversnack and they mindlessly snack. So I did one shot of Tito's in an insulated tumbler with flavor drops, or I mixed one spiked seltzer like my black cherry high noon with a black cherry sparkling water, okay? So just more hydration, fewer calories, more control. I had a bright line for myself. This way I could enjoy, still feel great the next day, keep hydrated. Morning movement. So each morning I walked over 10,000 steps with a friend. Now, this connection time with me helped me to recharge, I love connecting with somebody I don't normally connect with on vacation. And my friend Abby and I, we would get up each morning and we would talk and walk, set ourselves up for success for the day. I also use my resistance bands like we talked about, and I did workouts from the Clubhouse guide. We have a banded guide in there. So it was it intense walking? No, I mean maybe in the heat it did get pretty hot and I did sweat, but it was consistent. I got to connect with her. That's what matters most. Memories over macros. You will hear me say that 1,000 times. And I also did the Clubhouse band of workouts. They were quick, they hit it hard. It made me feel good instead of bloated. A lot of people are like, I on vacation, I kept hearing people say, I feel like I have to do crunches. I feel like I have to do crunches. I feel so yucky. So I was feeling confident, and I felt good by the pool. Keeping a routine is big for me for breakfast and lunch. Okay. Just keeping it very simple. We are busy when we're on vacation. Breakfast and lunch are just, we're always doing things, we're always moving. So, breakfast, I did water, coffee, Greek yogurt, and berries. Kept it very simple. For lunch, especially if we were on the go, I did a ranch tuna pouch, chomps, legendary chips, and we caught fresh fish off the boat, and we had that more than one day. So that was always such a good option, and having a salad kit on backup. Okay. So consistency in breakfast and lunch gave me so much more flexibility for dinner and dessert and fun drinks. The last night, I wanted to take the kids out for ice cream. So this same thing, moderation. I made a smaller version with all the toppings because let me tell you, toppings are my favorite part. Less froyo, more toppings, no guilt because this isn't a diet, it's a lifestyle. I want my kids to see that you can enjoy food without restriction or obsession, and everyone else too. And yes, that's why the woman at the pool with the muscles, she got all the questions. I met so many new people and they all were asking me what I did for a living and how do I get those arms? And you look good. And how old are you? So it just made me feel good that I could share my knowledge with people, and hopefully I influence somebody to just be healthier and live a lifestyle that supports feeling good and confident about themselves. All right, the last coming home. Coming home strategy. You need a strategy, okay? So I ordered groceries on the drive home. So when we walked in, food was ready, food was here. We didn't DoorDash, we didn't spiral, we didn't need to order pizza. We were immediately back into our rhythm. And this is one of the best things you can do to maintain your progress post vacation. So even if you feel like you, air quote, screwed up for the entire week, just get back on track. This is one of the best things you can do to maintain your progress post vacation. Order groceries on the drive home. Just get back to it. Having those groceries available is key. So while Ron drives home, I place the delivery order, lots of fresh fruits, fresh veggies, and lean protein. So I hope this was super helpful. If you wouldn't mind, share it, tag me at Kelly Counts Macros. I love seeing your takeaways, and I'll personally thank you. If you could leave a 5-star review, I might even read yours on a future episode. Stop overthinking it. You're busy, you're overwhelmed. I get it. Direct message me. That's why I simplify everything so you can take action now. Join my free Facebook community, Kelly Counts Macros, counts with a K. Inside, you'll find the freebies, the meal ideas, and my most downloaded resource, how to set your own macros. Okay, so you can find that inside of my community. If you can't figure it out, join and tag me and I will show you the way. So thanks for tuning in today. If this helped out, send it to a friend, share it with somebody going on vacation soon. And always remember, it's not the all or nothing, it's about the all or something. You're always doing better than you think you are. See you next week.